When last we left off, the party had investigated some elven ruins and found some more godly artifacts, and then started making their way west to Gorold's Rest. And on the way there, they were ambushed by a group of orcs and an ogre. They handily defeated those, and that's where we left off. And it's now nightfall as you guys are at this hill that the orcs set up as a campsite in hopes of seeing some travelers. You've got pretty good lines of sight from the top of it, so it's a good place to camp.
Well, I suggest we do set up camp for the night, but, you know, they were looking for other travelers, so this is probably a well-traveled spot. We should definitely keep an eye out.
Well, if you guys feel like you could trust us, my friend and I would be more than willing to offer our services as watch during the night.
You're not planning on killing us, so that sounds like a great plan.
Ooh, that was really bad acrobatics.
But I got the roll to the right spot, so I'm happy.
Yeah. But you biffed that backflip. No, definitely not going to kill anybody. Well, unless they attack us. Then I might have
but not kill us, right?
No, not kill you guys.
Excellent. Good. Shall we set up a watch for the night?
Yeah, please let me know who's taking what order in the watch.
I'd love to go first or last, if that's possible.
I'll go in the middle.
I'll go second.
Are we doing pairs?
You can if you'd like. I have it set up right now for 6 spots for all of you, but if you'd rather condense it down and do pairs, that's fine.
Up to the
I
group.
think pairs is a great idea. How about Aki and I will go first?
Then I'll go last with somebody.
Okay.
I can go last with you if you like.
Sure.
Well, just as long as I get to be partnered with someone who can see in this damn darkness, I can't see a thing.
It looks like you're with me.
You got it, buddy.
That's a good point, actually. I can't see in the dark either.
I can.
Well, that's perfect then.
So we're missing? Anybody? We're good.
I think
There's
that's
the
everybody
two
I've got.
gods-
Sweet.
There's the 2 gods and our 3 goblins, but they don't really count. Slash can't be trusted.
I was going to say Tempest and Maliki could take a 4th watch if you guys wanted shorter watches.
I don't see why not. I feel like we can trust them.
I would agree.
Okay, on the first watch, it's going to be Akai and Knell.
What you doing on watch, Aki? Or sorry, Akai.
That was your first mistake, getting my name wrong. What am
Low
I
bar,
doing?
I'm gonna do way worse than that. Yeah, what are you doing?
I'm guessing do we have a fire? Be
Sure.
sitting around the fire? Or we start a fire?
I think we just took care of the bad guys in the area. I think we could risk a fire.
So yeah, we'll get a fire started, and as the rest of the party situates themselves and sits down and kind of gets comfortable for the evening, old Knell is going to just sort of take up position across the fire from Akai, and is going to shuck off his pants and start hemming them as he wears like the fantasy equivalent of old man baggy tighty whities across the fire. And
Oh, hell no.
oh hell yes. And so after a moment of pants repairs, he's going and is going to say, "So, you going to kill us in our sleep?"
What would give you that idea?
Well, on the one hand, you showed up out of nowhere with a god who the very first thing she did was lie to us about being a god. The little fella, Nibbs, he seems like a pretty broad-eyed and bushy-tailed sort. Don't believe that he has it in him to be dishonest. But then there's you. Haven't hardly said a word about yourself, except to tell us where we ought to go because you just happen to have a friend who has god items, what we're looking for. So you're at the very least, you're luring us somewhere. Want to know why?
Well, I think you got it all wrong, but I'm just a person of little words, and if that's causing you some suspicion, then that's on you.
I mean, I suppose that's true, but maybe you'd care to assuage me. Where are you from?
I have no idea. Ryan? Down south?
You're from, well, Yeah, that is a tricky question. We never actually got into that too much, but you would be from originally a city called Belshani, far to the south.
Okay, well, I got the direction right then. Far to the south, a place called Belshani.
Uh-huh. And you just grew up to be a dangerous swordswoman just 'cause?
Yeah, I guess. Just 'cause.
Right. So it wasn't due to some sort of deep-seated anger over your parents calling you Terry and you don't even like the sauce.
I don't think so.
Teriyaki? No, never mind. All right. Well,
Nicely done.
just be aware. Got my eye on you. I rather like this crew, and if you're going to betray us, I'm going to stab you in the back first. Deal?
Not if I don't stab you first, but that's a deal.
All right, game recognizing game. Well, I'll shoot finger guns across the fire, and the rest of our watch will be carried on in companionable silence.
Okay, in the early night, can I get you guys to give me a perception check, DC 20, please?
Just those two?
Just those two. They're on first watch.
I am too busy staring down a guy, and she's too busy staring down me.
I think we're both just
Missed you guys.
involved with each other.
It's a beautiful start. A couple of fives. Yep, you guys don't notice anything on your watch.
And if we live to another watch, maybe they'll get a chance.
We'll see. Second watch comes along. Deacon and Ulnan, you guys are awake. Is there anything you'd like to discuss on your watch?
Not unless he starts the conversation.
Yeah, Deacon is a man of few words, so he just kind of wakes up a little bit, and then he pulls a cigar out of his jacket or out of his pocket, and just lights it up, and tips his hat at Ulnan and starts looking around.
All right, I will get perception checks from you guys. It is full dark for your entire watch. So your perception difficulty is going to be 18.
Because it's dark, do I have disadvantage?
Not for this check.
Whoops, I'm sorry, I double-clicked.
And you rolled with disadvantage.
Oh, well, there you go. I'm not entirely sure why I did.
Booyah!
All right, so Ulnan, you're keeping an eye out around the fire. Sorry, who did I say? Did I say Ulnan?
Yeah.
Sorry, Deacon. You're the one keeping an eye out lower down the hill. Ulnan, at some point during your watch, you happen to look up at the sky. It's a clear, beautiful night, and you note that something looks a little odd. Now, you've seen the moon many a time during your life, and it looks a little bit different tonight. It looks like it has a bit of a wispy tail behind it as it moves through the night sky.
I admire the changed moon for a few moments, and decide that it isn't as much of a threat of anything that might be sneaking up on us, but I'm going to keep in mind that happened.
Okie doke. The rest of your watch goes by uneventfully. Nibbs and Tia are up next.
Actually, I think the gods are.
Oh, I thought the gods were taking the last watch.
No, I indicated I wanted the last one.
Oh, okay. I will switch that around then.
Since it's them that are the next watch, as waking them up once they are fully risen from their sleep, is the moon still showing what it was showing with the tail?
It is.
So I have a question for you two. Is that something we need to be concerned about?
They both look up towards where you're pointing and share a look with each other. You can give me an insight check.
I'm assuming I'm here also. Can I give one too?
You bet. Well, you can tell that there is a meaningful look between the two of them. You don't get any kind of sense as to what their emotional state is when they see that. Tempest simply says to you, It's nothing to worry yourself about.
Well, I've never seen something like that. What could that be?
Miliki says, I have a theory, but it's probably incorrect. Perhaps something simply crashed into the moon and set some debris loose.
Would we, in this world, have an idea that, like, the moon is probably huge, actually?
Yeah.
Something that big crashed into the moon? I mean, I might have been born yesterday, but I'm not that dumb. What do you think that is, really?
Well, my more outlandish theory, and she looks at Tempest again, is that Saloon is no longer with us.
Well, that sounds bad.
Possibly. She was the goddess of the moon, and so if her form on this world has fallen, perhaps the moon has begun to degrade slightly.
So you mean the moon is going to just disappear on us one of these nights?
Perhaps. I'm not sure. It may simply be shedding some of its outer layer that possessed or reflected the power of Saloon. It's hard to say.
All right, this is going to be a trying time, I think.
The loon is one of the good gods, I'm guessing.
Let me double check that. I think neutral. Oh no, chaotic good. So yeah, one of the good gods.
The moon has such sway over our environments, I just kind of assumed that would be the case.
I think with that, Deacon is going to go back to bed grumbling.
Ulnan too.
Okay. So we'll get to Last Watch with Nibbs and Tia. Tempest and Miliki point out the state of the moon to you in the late night. You can see the tail, which they say looks like it may have gotten slightly longer over the course of the night. But other than that, they've found no issues during their watch.
Okay, but they did point it out. Sorry, I didn't maybe catch that little part of it.
Yeah, they pointed it out.
Okay. Oh, I was sleeping so good. I was having a great dream. I had found my family, and we had all been reunited, and there was like a festival of springtime.
That sounds lovely.
Oh, it was. I haven't been to a festival at my village for probably 2 years now.
How come if you're so happy about it?
Well, I've been adventuring or trying to, going from town to town looking for ways that I could lend a hand. But it's kind of hard when you're somebody who's small to be taken seriously.
Well, I take you pretty seriously, so...
But
Cool.
You're small too.
I'm not that small.
No, you're not as small as me, but I mean, we're kind of both small compared to those guys.
Well, yes. Some of them are taller.
Do you speak bird folk?
No, I don't. But
Oh.
you want to teach me? I'll see if I can learn.
Yeah, I could teach you how to speak bird folk. It's not hard. It's a lot of complaining, and there's a lot of like hitting on people and stuff like that. A lot of complaining and pickup lines.
Weird combo.
Yeah, birds are kind of one-track mind.
Okay, yeah, that's a little confusing, but sure.
Well, I mean,
Do you
basically,
intermix them, or do you focus on one or the other?
usually one on the other. They also like to gossip quite a bit. They talk a lot.
Fair enough, fair enough. Well, which do you want to start with?
Well, the moon, like that's really weird with the moon. Like, what do you think that might be causing that?
Is this the complaining, or are we switching topics?
Oh, sorry. I thought you said switch topics.
No, I was trying to figure out if we were starting with complaining, pickup lines, or gossip. But this could fall into gossip or complaining. I'm not sure which.
Well, yeah, we could use Birdfolk to complain about it. Let's see. Who broke the moon? He says in Birdfolk.
I didn't get any of that.
Yeah, I said, who broke the moon?
Okay. So she will try and both converse about the moon being broken as well as learn Birdfolk at the same time. So it's a pretty slow convo.
And it's funny that that should be the way the conversation goes. Because while you're talking about the moon and looking up at it, you do note that it does appear to be breaking.
What?
While you watch, conversing in bird folk, you see a rather sizable piece of the moon break off and start to trail behind the rest.
That can't be good. Is it staying up there?
It's a rather slow process, but as you watch, you do note that it appears to be getting slightly bigger, even as parts of it flake away and it generates a tail of its own.
So part of the moon's falling.
Do you think it's true that it's made out of cheese? Because I'm worried if there's a big glob of molten cheese that comes down,
Everybody's going to want it.
We're going to be in trouble.
I don't know if that part is true, but I think we should, keep an eye on it. And if it gets looking like it's dangerous, we should pay attention. And I don't know where it's going to fall. Like maybe this is like all the other things that fell from the sky and it'll have a bunch of god things in it. Or maybe it'll just kill people. I'm not sure.
Ryan, I'm going to watch it carefully for a few minutes and see if I can kind of figure out a trajectory of some sort.
All right. You can give me an intelligence check.
Can I also try and figure that out?
You sure can.
Normally, I'm much smarter than that.
Tia, as you watch the moon, you're pretty sure it's this chunk is drifting south of where you are currently.
And where are we headed? Is it south or no?
Nope, you guys are headed west.
Thank you.
And over the course of your watch, you see that it drifts further and further to the west south until you lose sight of it.
Does it look like it's coming down tonight?
You would guess that it will probably hit tonight. Yeah. And as you lose sight of it, you note a second piece breaks off as well.
Trajectory on that one? Can I figure it out?
Watching it long enough, you figure out that it's going to land to the east of where you are.
Any of them, do they look like they're going to land close?
Again, this one goes over the horizon and you lose sight of it. So there's no way of knowing how far away it will land.
Oh, goodness. Yeah, keep watching that and the surrounding landscape.
I think when we get up, we should go check those out. Like I think we should let everybody sleep and then go check them out. What do you think?
I think we should at least raise it. I know there's a lot of different directions people want to go in, but I think we should add 2 to those.
Yeah, I suppose. That's a good point. I guess we kind of just wait out the rest of the night and wake everybody up.
Okay. You wake everybody up.
And then we tell them about the moon falling apart and landing both east and south of us. And I watch the gods when I explain it.
And I think Deacon at least is going to be just like all eyes on the gods for an explanation.
Yeah.
Tempest will say, "We weren't told what would happen when a god fell. Simply that the last god to survive will be the one to ascend. It appears as though there are consequences for our deaths before we get to that final battle for your world."
So
That
if
sounds like
something
that
were
could be very terrible for us.
So if something happens to you, is peace going to break out? What about you, milady? Is everything suddenly going to become a parking lot?
As I said, we hadn't been told that this would even be a possibility. I would doubt that peace would reign if I were to fall, given that this is a God's war, after all. It's not likely to end if I should die. Likely it would be some other aspect related to me that would fail people or the world. Amongst the gods, I am known to be fearless and brave. It could be something along those lines would fail in the hearts of those who remain. And Maliki says, I don't know what a parking lot is, but if my domains were to be affected by my death, I would guess that forests and woodland creatures would suffer.
So we have a lot of incentive to make sure the evil gods perish, because it will make our world better.
Well, yes, if we had things such as torture and agony, selfishness suddenly weaken, it would make your world quite a bit nicer, I imagine.
Do you know what the pieces of the moon that fell might be? Are they worth investigating? Could they have a whole bunch of god things in them?
They would ask you about where they fell and how large they were, and given what you guys saw, they're guessing that those pieces of the moon fell so far away that it would be prohibitive to try to travel to those places. If it was close, you'd probably all be dead.
I wouldn't enjoy that either.
No, that sounds terrible.
And weren't we going to have some kind of a conversation with people in a castle nearby anyways? Fort, whatever it was?
Yeah, I thought they were closer. All right, well, everybody's up and everybody feels better.
I don't know about feeling better. We're up.
Should we make our way to this castle?
I think we can go.
So we'll all pile into the wagon and we'll get going early on. And old Knell will say, Elf seminar, Ulnan, you're getting shotgun.
Alrighty then.
And with Ulnan riding next to old Knell, we're going to go on for a little bit, looking around, trying to pitch our voices, well, at least I'm trying to pitch my voice a little bit low to maybe just have a bit of a quieter conversation with Ulnan. And is just going to say, Ulnan, I'm a little bit worried about our group.
Wynn's going to try and listen, even if you're speaking in Elvish. She's going to sit nearby and try and eavesdrop.
And why is that?
Well, we've picked up a couple of newcomers. The little Nibbs fella, he seems like a honest sort, which those are the kind that you really have to watch. Aki, she's dangerous. We now have a goddess who is, if we hadn't told her that we were going to try and kill Grumsh, she would have immediately abandoned everything to go find her artifacts, even asking Nibbs to let her out of previous agreements and such. I think that the pull that these artifacts have on the gods is stronger than they might give themselves credit for.
Well, if somebody stole my stuff, I'd be pretty incentivized to get it back too.
Yeah, sure, but she's supposed to be one of the good uns, and she was ready to haul off and abandon everything. I'm just worried that if all we do is, go off to this town and blithely get Tempest his saddleback, that our group might fall apart if he suddenly decides that he's going to bump off Maliki or just take off by himself.
So, what are you suggesting?
Schemes and plans, lad. Schemes and plans. I don't know what's going to happen when we get to the town, but surely everybody is going to want to have a rest in a tavern or something.
I imagine.
All right. So, we're going to get the gods rip-roaring drunk. Which one do you want to take?
Let's flip a coin for it.
Oh, okay. Heads I win, tails you lose.
I like
Okay.
that.
Gonna
What do
flip
you
a
win?
Gonna roll a d4 here. If it's evens, I'll take Maliki. If it's odds, I'll take Tempest. Maliki it is. You get Tempest drunk.
I was hoping you'd get Tempest for old time's sake. Michael says.
Jesse appreciates, but yeah, I'll give you a good nod, and we'll agree that that's the plan, and we'll continue on riding. Does anybody else have anything to say?
I would like other people in the group who aren't Old Knell and Ulnan to give me insight checks, please.
Oblivious.
Wow, that was a lot of good checks, except for Nibbs. So Nibbs, you're completely oblivious to what's going on, as you said. But everyone else, you note through as the travels begin, Maliki and Tempest are shooting meaningful looks at each other throughout the course of the travels. They're not speaking to each other, but you definitely get a sense that there's a heightened tension today between them.
As in, they might break out in battle sometime soon, and they're a lot less relaxed around each other?
I could see why you'd think that.
Or like one thing led to another, and they may have last night.
No, nothing like that.
I was going to
But you know
say,
what?
as long
With
as
Nibbs' role, maybe that's what you're thinking.
Oh, jeez. I think they slept together.
Goodness.
Sorry, one piece of housekeeping. Knell got knocked the hell out last time. Ulnan, can I assume you would have healed me?
Yes. I had I think I had 3 healing lights left, which would be 3D blah blah. 3d6.
And then I could just use a hit dice, so I'll mark one of my hit dice off, give myself full health, and assume that by the law averages I'd be back up to full. Unless Ryan really wants to make us roll it, in which case we can.
Not really. It's fine.
Wynn is going to get up in the cart and very regally plop herself in between the gods and say with an expectation that she will be answered. So, what is going on between the two of you? What is this unease?
Give me a persuasion roll, please. Wow.
Best I can do.
Yep, 21 is good. Both of the gods look at you and frown, and Tempest says, given what we've seen last night, the importance of an alliance has never been greater. But I can't help but feel the power difference between myself and Maliki, as she has one of her artifacts and I do not. And I feel this great need to retrieve my artifact that Akai mentioned the other day, so that we can even the power balance. I know Maliki is good at heart, but this is a war with only one survivor. And so it would be best for me if we were on an even footing when the time came that the alliance must fail. And Maliki nods at that and says, with my longbow in hand, I feel the presence and the pull of my other artifacts, and I know that this is going to be a long-term issue, for they are great distances away, and I feel the need to begin my travels to retrieve them, so that I may win this war. It's hard to explain the feelings that I'm having, and I'm sure Tempest is having as well, as we sleep through the night and feel deaths of our other pieces on other worlds, and knowing that it could happen here, and knowing that I may be the best chance for me to ascend back to the heavens. And if Tempest gets his artifacts and becomes as powerful or more powerful than I am, what then? I feel, and I hate this thought, that I should eliminate him now, rather than wait and give him a chance to get stronger and take me out later.
You are a good god. You do not do that. That is against your very nature. There are evil gods in this world. And for you to decide, either one of you to be tempted by that in the middle of all of this goes against everything you both stand for.
I am well aware of that, which is why I have stayed my hand, but it doesn't stop the thoughts from being in my mind. I know that we have great enemies out there who are gathering their strength as well, and those evil gods will not hesitate to murder and maim to get what they want. If we sit back and try to spend our time negotiating and waiting, I fear that the evil gods will grow stronger faster than the good gods.
So let's kill the bad ones, and each of you may be the key to your survival. Tempest may save your life.
And it sounds to me like you guys haven't really been negotiating with people at all. You've just, been like it's all been like creatures, right? Like orcs and stuff like that. You've just been going in and taking them, and you really need like all the help that you can get. And like all of these people have like god items, from other gods, and turning your back on that sort of assistance would probably be ill-advised. And the other thing to consider is, I think that you guys should be under an alliance until all the evil gods are dealt with, and then you can look at tearing each other apart. But you kind of owe it to this world to make sure that we destroy those evil gods first and make that a priority.
And each of you are weaker alone than together.
Which of the two of you has the best persuasion?
I have a +2.
He does.
Nibbs, can I get you to roll persuasion at advantage, please?
Way to go, Nibbs!
Yay!
Nice roll. With the two of you working in concert, giving your rationale for the alliance once more, both gods nod and reaffirm their commitment to work together and not stab each other in the back, even given the terrible psychological strain and pressure that they're under. They will work together.
Oh, good. And you can talk to us if you have any, if you just need to talk it through.
They both appreciate that, and thank you for your wisdom.
I will, after the conversation kind of looks like it's come to a completion, he'll be like, okay, it's time for stuff for lunch.
And when you mention lunch, where's my list of the goblins and their names? I was named Mega, was it not?
I think so.
Yeah, I'm looking for the notes.
You know what? For now, it's Mega.
Okay. At the mention of lunch at midday, Mega pipes up. Not really hungry.
Not really hungry, or I'm really hungry?
Not. Could go without lunch today, I think.
How come?
He just shrugs.
Does he look all right?
He looks fine.
In this world, are goblins fairly, greedy about stuff? Like, I want to have all the food, and you're not necessarily evil, but,
Yeah, they're definitely hoarders and will give in to gluttony.
All right. Deacon would like to make an insight check, because this seems really out of character, and he's trying to figure out maybe if this is a goblin trying to tell us, maybe we shouldn't stop here.
Okay. You don't get the sense that there's anything sinister going on here, that the goblin's worried about anything. He's just not hungry.
Can Akai, I don't know, maybe talk to Nibbs, like quietly and say, I wonder if this is a result of them falling.
Megan, when did you last eat?
I don't know. Yesterday?
Did you eat a lot yesterday? Like, did you really pig out?
No, not really. I think I
Is there
had...
a god of gluttony, Ryan?
Give me a religion check. There's a few different gods that may be related to food that you've heard of. I think there's gods that like to party and overdo it, like Aladamara. There's gods of joy. What's her name?
Are you thinking of one of the love goddesses like Sune?
Lyra, goddess of joy and life, also enjoys get-togethers over feasts. And there is also a god of just general consumption, called the All-Consuming One.
I gotta admit, I hope that's the one that's gone out of those.
How are we feeling?
You feel normal.
Any of the other goblins expressing that sentiment?
Yeah, when you ask them, they're not particularly hungry either.
I'll ask them if they know of any of these three gods.
Definitely not.
Okay. Just in case they were worshipping some,
One little notion here. Upon hearing like this line of questioning, I think old Knell might look over his shoulder towards them and say, "Lads, tell Daddy honestly, you all feeling strong today?
I feel okay.
Pick up something heavy."
Not really good at picking up heavy things at the best of times. How heavy are we talking here?
I'll point at Torm's hammer that we have just leaning up against the side of the wagon.
Actually, when you go to look for that, you notice that Maliki has it.
Okay, I'll tell them to pick up Sparky's body.
Okay, that's fairly heavy. The three of them do manage to work together and lift him off the ground, though.
All right, good boys, put him down. And old Nell's just gonna mutter that he was worried that maybe what they were feeling wasn't like a lack of hunger, but perhaps they were empowered by the presence of like a goblin deity or something.
Gotcha. Are you feeling anything else unusual today?
Nope.
Are you still happy? When he, and I'll nod to old Knell, says that you're good, does that still make you happy?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. We like making old Knell happy. Boss happy, goblins happy.
So maybe not Lyra. By weird processing. I'll ask the gods if they have any idea if the impact is... Their best guess is the impact likely a localized thing or worldwide if a god disappears. And I know they're not experts.
Yeah, they're really not sure. They're going to have to wait until the moon comes up again to see how, like, if it's continued to degrade over the course of the day, to see how extensive the problem is.
Cool.
So when you guys stop for lunch, you also note that the mules don't touch their food.
Damn. Can we convince the goblins to eat anyway, even though they're not hungry?
You can give me persuasion checks.
Old Knell snaps his fingers and says 8.
They eat a little bit.
Excellent. I don't think we can do that with the mules, but, halfway.
Can I, just give an animal handling check or something? Just really check over the mules and make sure they're not suffering any ill effects from this apparent lack of appetite?
Of course.
Womp womp.
I mean, they might just be being stubborn. You haven't noticed this behavior in them in the past when they've been walking all morning, but they don't look like there's anything wrong with them.
Well, this could be a problem.
Or maybe they just don't need as much food.
Nibbs, are you hungry?
Yeah, I came up with lunch, remember? Well, I think that we should discuss this while on the move. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, let's keep moving.
All right. So you guys spend the rest of the day traveling. Is there anything else that you want to discuss on the road?
I do want to quiz both of the gods we've got with us on all of the things, basically to try and figure out what their powers are, how we would identify if another god had died by weird things happening in the world, trying to get as much information as possible. And they may or may not be eager to talk to me about that.
Right. So they don't know much more than you know at this point. They can talk about themselves, and like they've already given you some ideas about what their domains are, where you'd likely to see failures. But yeah, just there may be other signs along the way that you'll see from people or animals, or maybe even just nature in general, that you'll have to keep your eyes open and ears open, listening for rumors and whatnot to get a good sense of what is failing and what is normal.
I thank them for everything that they've shared there.
Yeah, they're happy to help.
Can I ask a bookkeeping question?
You sure can.
The hammer, is it Torms or is it Tempests or Tears?
It's Tyr's hammer.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, any other topics of conversation anyone wants to get into?
I'm not asking this to the gods right now, but hadn't Tempest had that hammer at one point in time, or am I misremembering?
No, Sparky had it.
Sparky had it. Okay, perfect. Thank you. I'm like, did she take it from him because she was stronger? So thank you for that.
Yeah, no problem.
Are we arriving at Gorld's Rest or not?
You are. I'm just setting up a couple of things quickly here. I forgot to put down tokens for you guys on the map.
As we're approaching, I'm going to consult with old Knell.
Yeah, what's up?
So old chap. Nondescript elf, orc, or goblin?
Stick with the elf for right now. I think these blotters are more civilized, and our current party might already be giving them some question.
As we're approaching, I will cast Disguise Self and shift all the colors of my clothing and skin tone darker and some scars on my face.
Sounds good. So you guys arrive just south of Gorld's Rest as night begins to fall. You can see some lights on in the buildings ahead, as well as some people standing around with torches, talking to one another, people milling about, and I forgot to put one extra bright light off in the distance here. And you see, well, maybe the buildings are a little bit in the way, but northwest on top of a hill, there's a large fire burning.
All right, Aki, this is your town. Do we find your friend first, or do we find Stabling? What's the play here?
I'm thinking we should go find my friend.
Lead on.
So, Akai, your friend lives in the manor behind the hedges, kind of at the north of town.
Okay, guess we'll just start going there.
And for what it's worth, if we're having a bit of trouble seeing amongst some members on the map, I'll cast Dancing Lights and just give us, 4 little globules with 10 feet of vision.
I'll get you guys to give me insight checks as you walk through town.
Boo.
Nice roll, old Knell.
Thank you. Oh, Deacon coming in hot as well.
Mine didn't come through. I also got a 20. Oh, it's just super slow.
All right, Deacon, Old Knell, and Wynn. As you're walking through town at night, and you walk past a couple of groups of guards, you note that they're acting maybe not the way you would expect. in that they don't even look at you as you walk by as strangers in town. They're just chatting with each other. They don't have like their weapons are in sheaths at their sides, and they seem to be pretty oblivious to your passing. You also note that the commoners that you pass by appear to be rather somber in their moods.
Does this, when either of the gods we've got wander near them, does that change?
No.
Okay.
Is that communicated to the rest of the group, or?
Once we're past the group of
Okay.
guards, yes. Something weird's going on here.
I am not sure that I've ever gone into a town without having a question asked of me.
Usually they call the rat catchers when I come.
I think that actually gets a guffaw out of old Knell.
And Akai, you note as you approach the manor, usually there are guards at the gates by the hedges, but there's nobody standing here. You don't see any guards further in near the manor where the lights are on inside. And a quick look to the north, you see a cluster of guards, some of them dressed in the colors of the noble house of Goldson.
They're just chilling?
Should we go say hi?
No, I wouldn't say hi, but that's very odd.
All right, so you guys get to the manor. Oops, I don't have tokens down for you guys here either.
There's a strange statue of a woman in a black shirt.
There is.
So Ryan, you said it's pretty late here, right? Or
Yep.
So these are arches and...
Yes, arches and gardens.
Okay. So do we see the two people ahead of us there?
Yeah, you do, yep.
Okay.
I'm still on the old map.
Oh. Yes, you are. Let me drag you over.
I wasn't able to move, so I was reloading, and that's probably when you did the move.
Could be. You're here now?
Loading. Bum, 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 bum. Sorry, I thought we needed some elevator music while we were waiting for it to load.
A little bit of music, never hurt anybody.
Especially the girl from Ipanema, Ipanema, that's it.
you know what song I have in my head? Melakaliki Maka is Hawaii's way. Every time Ryan says Maliki, I'm like, ah!
Oh, you get it from that? Okay.
And now I'm picturing the pool scene in Christmas Vacation.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'll walk up to these two people and say, hi.
Yeah, they look down from their stargazing to look at you, and they're like, "Oh, hello. Sorry, a little preoccupied. You're not a halfling. Okay, you're small though, so I thought maybe you were at first."
Oh, no, I am a gerbine. We're like little mouse people. Now, people don't really see a lot of us. We usually stick to the forest, but I like to adventure, so I made friends with these people, and, well, we're here to see you. And I look at Akai.
I'm going to ask them where, I'm going to get this wrong again.
Sign, yeah.
Sign. That's it. Thank you. I'm going to ask where Sign is. Because I'm not sure, I don't know if I would know these people. Or if they would
you're familiar with everybody, pretty much everybody in Gold's Rest. It's a very small place, and the help in the manor. These are two people that are usually helping out inside, doing various jobs, cleaning and cooking and that sort of thing.
So, do they actually recognize me, or they're just?
Yep, they both bow their heads to you when they see you.
Oh, Akai, are you a lord?
Yeah, could we insight that and see what their level of deference is?
Certainly. Everybody wants to know. Yeah, it's nothing over the top or anything, but it is with I don't want to say reverence. That's too strong a word, but acknowledging that she belongs there, and they would certainly take orders from her if asked to do something.
Isn't it deference? Is that the word you're looking for?
Yeah.
Like just that little bit of.
They certainly respect her.
They respect your thoughts.
Can I give old Knell like a just a
he's
look
got
like,
both. Yeah, he'll give you a look right back, and he's got both hands up his sleeves, like probably holding on to daggers.
But yeah, they would tell you that the last they saw a sign was in the artifacts room, and you would know that that's on like if you're looking at the house up top, it's on the right hand side.
What are you guys looking at, by the way?
The moon. And one of them points up, and you can see that the moon is just starting to peek up over the horizon now.
Oh, can you see like a big chunk out of it, or what?
Yeah, there is definitely less of the moon as it starts to come up over the horizon.
He'll kind of wince and say, "Yeah, it has seen better days. I think Saloon might have died. I'm not sure. Bye."
They look curiously at you, but have no idea who you're talking about, and just let you go by.
Okay, well, let's head to the artifact room.
As we're walking past these people, do either of them have like a key ring or anything on their belt?
Nope.
Cool. Okay, following the group inside.
You said the right side, Ryan, right?
Yes. And you see a couple more people standing just inside the main doors, also looking and pointing up at the moon, not really paying a lot of attention to you.
How bad does it look compared to yesterday before it fell apart?
Definitely worse. Like last night with the two pieces that you saw fall off of it, there was still a lot of moon left. It looks like there may be getting close to only half of the moon.
Okay, that's not good. Does it look like there are more pieces continuing to fall off of it today? Are any trails or anything like that on the remaining bits?
You definitely see a tail of debris following what's left of the moon. Definitely longer than what you saw last night, and brighter as there's more pieces to reflect the sunlight.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, so I think we're headed.
Is there a door here? Oh, there is a door there. Okay. I think there's a door over here, Kai. Is this where it is?
I know where we're going, buddy.
Oh, is this your house? Did you live here?
No, but yes. Stop asking questions.
Okay.
Oh my god, all I'm doing is measuring. I can't move.
You got the wrong thing selected at the top there.
I didn't touch those.
Oh, you're holding command as you...
But I did it without it. Here, I'll show you.
Okay.
Now it worked.
That's right, because I told you. Okay, I'm going to throw open the door.
Okay. As you throw open the door, a heavily armored woman standing in the room spins around and draws her... I believe she has a sword. Let me double check.
So she's not apathetic.
Battle axe. And when she sees Nibbs there, she's like, "What is this? More thieves coming to steal my relics?"
No, it's just me. I have some friends with me though.
When she sees you, Akai, she visibly relaxes, puts the axe away, and says, "Oh, thank goodness. It's good to see a friendly face."
Everyone is very weird right now. Is this all because of the moon, or what else is going on?
I don't know. It's incredibly frustrating. The house guards have all abandoned their posts. I found them and talked to them and tried to get them to come back. I even offered to increase their wages, and they just refused. They just left. I've been left to my own devices, and when I came to check on things, I noted that all the items that I'm not wearing that fell from the sky the other day have disappeared.
Oh, really?
And when she says that, she motions to a belt that she's wearing, where you see a symbol of two green eyes on it.
Any chance I can figure out whose god that was?
You can give me a religion check. You're not familiar with that symbol.
Thanks.
So, are you a god?
What? No.
Well, you said you fell from the sky, and we have these two other gods that fell from the sky.
No. These items that I found, or that Akai found, fell from the sky several nights ago into our back garden near the river. There were 5 items that were recovered, and I rather like the looks of this belt, so I decided to wear it, and it fits perfectly. The other items I left here for study. I summoned scholars from Nordgard to come and take a look, and unfortunately they have yet to arrive, but there's nothing for them to see once they get here either.
Why?
Was one of these items a saddle, lady?
Yes.
Tia, on me, please.
Pardon me?
Get over here, Sheila.
Yeah, you can call me Tia.
And with no further ado, could I aid Tia? And old Nell's going to be muttering at you what he'd like to do. Could I use the help actions that she could try and make an investigation roll to try
Find
and
clues.
pick up any trace of who stole stuff while you guys continue the conversation?
She can be quite focused.
Yeah, you guys can check out the room.
And old Nell is adding his thieves' intuition to it.
I don't know what that means.
Nothing mechanical. I'm just being and this is where I'd break in through the window.
Sounds good.
This is how I'd steal all her stuff, and then I'd sell it to this person.
Strangely enough, you don't see any signs of forced entry into this room. You see that one of the tables has an empty spot where the sign lets you know the relics had been put on display, and you don't see any footprints or drag marks or anything like that. There simply are no items there.
Did you have any more senior guards, or are they all fairly junior?
These guards have been guarding the manor as long as I've been alive.
Were there any that didn't appear to be apathetic?
No.
Do you have anyone else staying here?
Just the help at the moment. No guests.
Is the help seeming rather apathetic right now, too?
No, they are still going about their business. Thank goodness. This place would be a mess otherwise.
Can I go talk to some of your guards then?
Certainly. I think there may be one just over in the bedrooms. The others are all outside doing whatever they're doing, lazing about, chatting.
Tia, may I come with you?
Yeah. And I'm going to cast Detect Magic as a ritual, so it'll take me 10 minutes before I go talk to them. I want to see if they're under some sort of magical effect.
So, scene, is it? Sign, sorry?
Sign, yeah.
Sign, how do you know our friend Akai?
She works for me.
Oh, does she? She never mentioned that she had a job.
Yeah, but that's not what we're here for. We're here for the artifacts. This is a big problem.
Are you guys like a trading company?
No. Why are you saying this is a big problem, Akai?
Well, because this is kind of why everybody's here. And one of the artifacts was for one of them.
Ah, I see. Well, unfortunately, I have no leads to offer you. I've been in the manor making sure nobody else comes in here and spirits away with my things.
Deacon is going to walk up to Tempest and ask him, "Can you feel your saddle nearby?"
He has a very frustrated frown on his face and he shakes his head no.
Well, I thought you could feel their pull.
Miliki says, only once you've obtained one of your artifacts do you feel the pull of the others.
Oh, lovely. All right, then.
Old Knell going to join the huddle and is going to quietly say, Maliki, what did you say Sira was the goddess of again?
The Dark Elves, I suppose you could say, more organized and rule-abiding side of the Dark Elves, less the murder and chaos.
In my trance last night, I had you wouldn't call it a dream because I don't dream, but I had a vision, and Old Knell will hold up the bracers that are on his wrist, and he's going to say that the braces came to life, not simply shaped like snakes, but actual snakes, tightening around my forearms, squeezing me to the bone, hissing at me, telling me that Sira will take her revenge on me. And I saw myself, a younger me, so young, impossibly young, strong and healthy. And in that vision, I was poisoning priests and priestesses. And as they fell to the poison I administered, I crept through a church, stealing as I went, until finally I came to an altar and murdered a priest across it, crucifying him on his own altar before stripping his body of valuables. And, well, then I woke up. Can gods curse people through the god items?
I don't believe so. That's certainly not something I've attempted. I can tell you that I sense that my other items have been found and are on the move, but I haven't attempted to make some sort of magical contact with the bearers of the items. I suppose that's something I could try. It hadn't crossed my mind.
Could this be an effect of the god's proximity? Say, if a god of thieves were around and now a bunch of these god tools have gone missing, could that be what's happened here?
Honestly, your guess is as good as mine. I'm not sure how all of this works.
Ryan, I sent you a message in Discord when you have a moment. Does Stein have any reaction to the dream?
I got the sense that Old Knell wasn't sharing that with everybody, that he was speaking quietly just to the group.
Okay.
Yeah, this was a teammate huddle.
Do you feel a pull towards the belt that she's wearing?
No, he doesn't.
Thanks.
And when you ask him that, Tempest and Miliki both shake their heads and say, no, he wouldn't.
Thanks.
Who would?
Bane.
Wait a
Did you say
minute.
Bane?
Didn't you guys say that you guys had something from Bane?
Ball.
Oh. Well, I suppose we should split up and search the manor?
Sure. She will take 10 minutes, Ryan. She'll ask if one of the guards can be brought here, because she'd like to check this room for magic as well at the same time.
Sure. She gets one of her wait staff to go and find a guard and bring the guard to you.
I thank her.
So, Tia, what is it you're hoping to glean from the one who's being brought here? Maybe I could help.
I'm wanting to know if they're under any magical influence. or have any recollection of what might have happened here. I'm also wanting to see if there's any magical residue in the room in case there's something we can glean from that.
So you're not bringing them to actually talk to them. You're bringing them to test them for...
Yeah, you can talk to them, though.
Come on, people. Shout out actions. What are y'all doing?
I've shouted mine. It takes a couple minutes.
Yeah, I'm thinking I'm waiting till the spell is done, and then we're going to search the manor for clues.
Cool.
Okay. So after the detect magic spell is cast, you don't see any magical effects around the guard. You do note that Sign's plate armor appears to glow with a magical aura, as does the belt that she's wearing, although the belt is very, very faint. And that's all that you see in here. Like none of the other artifacts that she has are magical.
And nothing in the room has been tampered with magically?
No.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you.
I'm going to actually talk to the guard.
Okay.
I guess. What gender are they?
Female.
So, miss, how are you feeling?
Fine. How are you?
I am well. I've heard from Sign that you haven't been yourself these last few days.
I mean, I feel like myself.
Have you been at your post much lately?
Oh, no. Not at all, really.
And why not?
I just haven't really felt like it. There's so many other things to do in life.
And just how long have you not really felt like it?
I guess the last couple of days, 2 or 3. Hard to say.
And you haven't been all that hungry, I'm going to guess, also?
No, now that you mention it, no. And Sign would say, nobody's really been hungry here. It's only been me having 3 square meals a day.
Guys, I'm just going to say out of game, we have an artifact from Orm who I think is referred to as the Loyal Fury. So, god of loyalty, dead.
Yeah, maybe, but that doesn't explain the hunger part.
I think that's a different god. They're falling like flies.
That's true. That's also true.
It's not that I don't feel loyal to Sign. I just don't see much point in guarding this place. I mean, we stand guard day after day after day, and just nothing ever happens. It's boring.
So is it that you're bored with duty, or you're looking for excitement?
I just don't see much point in being a guard anymore, I guess. I've kind of been talking with the other guards, and they all feel the same way, and we're all just kind of trying to figure out what else we'd like to do with our lives.
And do you have any impulses there?
Nothing particular. I know that, and at this point she gets rather somber and says, I know we're going to need some farmers. Some of us have been talking about possibly picking up the slack there come spring.
The farmers haven't been... The farmers have also been enjoying the lack of anything to do?
Well, no. A couple of the farming families passed away recently.
Oh, how come?
I don't know. They just got sick.
And how long ago did that happen?
They started showing symptoms a few days ago. They've been passing away various times. Doesn't seem to be any rhyme or reason behind it. They just pass.
When is the last time you had some water to drink?
I think at dinner.
Which dinner? On what day?
Today.
Oh, okay.
I didn't have any lunch or breakfast today. I've been I've been drinking when I need to, and eating when I need to. I just figured that now that I'm not standing around and walking the grounds all day, I just haven't been using as much energy and haven't been hungry.
Ryan, I'm playing with my inventory here. I don't know if you noticed that I've accidentally put Lathander's golden sandals up a few times. But I'm trying to equip it and I can't. Is that supposed to be like that?
Oh, I think it's because it's a wondrous item instead of an equipable item.
Oh, okay. So I guess then I just remember that I have a +2. Because I don't know if I can add it.
Isn't it Akai that has the sandals?
That's me. Yeah.
Oh, why do I?
You're in my sheet.
Oh,
And that's why you
God.
can't equip it. 'Cause-
Yeah, yeah. You can equip your sandals.
Nibbs, did you get God's artifact?
No, I didn't. I don't think so.
Shit. I'm gonna have to retcon some stuff. You haven't been particularly hungry today either.
Oh, I figured
Oh,
that.
no.
Oh, well, now
No
we figured
lunch.
out the combination. Whew, no lunch.
Okay, I think at that point then the realization is going to come. It's people who don't have God's items that are being affected.
Ding ding. I agree.
Okay, who does or doesn't have the sandals right now?
I have the sandals. Okay.
Okay, so it's Nibbs that didn't have a chance to eat.
Yeah, he's just been nibbling.
He would have had dinner with you guys, but for lunch he wouldn't have actually been all that hungry for it.
All right, Nibbs. Old Nell's going to walk up to you and is going to slide the potentially cursed bracers onto your wrists, and he's going to say, "There you go, young fella. Go forth and steal." Does he suddenly get hungry?
I mean, you guys just had dinner not too long ago, so it's not like he's suddenly ravishingly hungry. But he might note that he'd have a little extra room in his stomach since he didn't eat much that day.
Oh, no, I think you're right. I do feel a little hungrier. That's very interesting. What do these bracers do?
They give you a +2 to sleight of hand. If you go to your equipment in D&D Beyond, you can add Sierra's bracers. It's SSEERA, and they should come up in your items. And I'm going to take them off.
Sorry, it's how do you spell it? SS?
SSEERA.
Oh, there it is. I found them.
Okay, so now knowing that people need to have God's items, does everyone in the party have at least one?
That fixed it, so we do.
Yeah,
What do
I
you-
believe I do. I don't see it in my inventory, but I remembered having one.
Deacon, you have McGaffey's helmet.
Yeah, but I just don't see it in my inventory. But I know it's there.
It's not in D&D Beyond. You'll have to add it. But it likely is in your
Oh,
forge.
actually, there it is. It turns out I'm blind. I apologize.
So yeah, I flubbed that, and now you guys know that God artifacts protect you from the negatives of hunger and whatnot. So you're welcome.
I was guessing it was whether things were level 1 or lower. So it's nice to figure out what the real thing was.
And because, of course, we're us, we did absolutely zero planning or division of labor in your absence. So what are we doing, gang?
Perfect.
Well, I think we're checking out I think the ritual is done now, right?
Yep.
So we can check out the manor and sniff around.
Okay. So a look around the manor with detect magic doesn't pick anything up. It's pretty basic. Like it's clear they have a lot of wealth to have built and maintained this place, but in terms of magical items, nothing.
While we are wandering through, I'm going to sidle back up beside old Knell. It seems to me we have a problem.
Which one you talking about, lad?
These people that aren't hungry are going to starve to death. That's a pretty short clock to figure out. 4 days?
I mean,
we could try and try and hand out god artifacts, and they could try it on. We could maybe try and kill enough gods to be a stabilizing force by canceling out this curse, but I don't know, lad. I don't know what we have in our capacity here. Maybe we should talk to this leader lady and see what she's got going on.
I mean, that sounds good to me. Let's. What?
Was this a conversation that like the group could hear, or was it just between you two?
No, I wasn't.
Sorry.
I wasn't keeping it down. It was. I was pretty loud. Not pretty loud, but it was conversational.
I think in that case, Deacon would probably sidle up and say, "Well, they did say they had dinner, so I reckon if they're eating once a day, they're probably going to live."
Is there some sort of magical spell we could put out there to make people eat?
Not that I know of.
I could do it twice every other hour if we were going to take the time to do that, and that really isn't worth it.
I'll ask Sign if she thinks people are starving or just not eating much.
From what she's seen, people just aren't eating as much. They tend to be having one meal a day instead of 3. She hasn't noticed any ill effects from it yet. Like, everybody still appears to be healthy, although some people have lost some weight.
Oh, sorry.
I will withdraw my concern for that short clock.
Those farmers, do you know what they died from?
No. We've had people look them over. I attempted to detect if there was any disease or anything else wrong with them, and came up with nothing. They simply passed.
Well, I wonder if we should take a look out there. That seems mighty suspicious.
Well, do you mind if we search your place first for any hint of your stolen artifacts?
Yes, of course.
Good, because I think we already did it.
Did we search the whole place?
Yeah, I just said that you guys did your detect magic and didn't come up with anything.
Oh, I also want to investigate for any clues.
Okay. Give me an investigation roll.
At advantage, because I'm so helpful.
Going around the manor, you talk to some of the staff, and they do mention that the other day there were some strangers from town who came in. They were an odd-looking group, but nobody really interacted with them much. The help didn't feel like it was their job to run security for the manor.
What way were they odd-looking?
Well, you don't see a lot of dragonborns in the area. There's also a woman who wore a lot of pink. There was a guy who looked really gaunt and kind of sickly. There was another who looked like he was very well dressed and rather outlandish looking, who had a lute, and he was often strumming it as they walked around talking. And they had a guard as well in their group.
Ryan, you are legally obligated to tell me if this is your kids' group, because I'm already making plans on how to murder them.
It
And
totally
we don't
is.
want to kill your kids.
Oh, man.
I mean, don't say it like you're killing my kids. That's awful.
Right! We don't want to at all.
But
I mean,
it certainly is their party.
Characters.
we can beat them up and steal their lunch money, though, right?
I
I
mean,
think we're trying not to brutalize the kids. Trying not to.
the way, okay, this is the way it's going to happen. You guys aren't going to actually play a session with the kids. Like, if and when you guys do wind up interacting with them, it'll be like me controlling their party type of thing, and then your stories will be like different universes. At that point, like they're
Potentially Okay, good.
Yeah. So if you guys do wind up killing their characters, there's no effect on their game for that.
Thank you so much, because I
Thank
really
you.
want them to have a good time.
And yeah, I would feel awful.
Yeah. And plus, there's only 3 of them, right?
And I
just
love how you guys are just all assuming that you will definitely end up killing them.
We're optimists. What can I say?
Fish swim, birds fly, and brother, I hurt people. Yeah. Okay, no, that's a relief.
But as for where they went or what they did, nobody here knows.
But we can go into town and investigate and see if anybody else has any idea.
For sure.
I suggest we start at the inn.
Sounds good.
Before we go, could I just briefly approach Sign and say, "Excuse me, m'lady. You nobility? Should I be calling you m'lady?"
No, I'm not nobility.
All right. So, how do you know Akai?
Like I said, she works for me.
Doing what?
Odd jobs.
Why?
Because everybody needs hired help.
So let me get this straight. You have an incredibly dangerous and cheeky swordswoman doing your odd jobs.
When they're odd enough, yes.
Who are you, and what is it you do? Why do you have a manor? Look, help me out here. I'm already pretty concerned about her stabbing us in the back, and if you can just give us some context, it'll set my mind at ease.
My family founded this town. I imagine you probably already guessed that the founder's name was Gorold. I come from a long line of Goroldsons, and yes, he had a fantastic amount of wealth and built himself a very nice manor, which our family still holds to this day. Is that good enough for you?
Good enough for now. I do feel I should warn you that, that belt that you have on, it is one of these gods' items. You understand what's going on with the items in the gods' war?
Not at all.
You need to come to the tavern with us so we can fill you in, because otherwise you're gonna be targeted by an evil god who's coming looking for that belt.
That sounds unpleasant. Yes, I will go with you. Just let me lock up the room here, so hopefully it will dissuade anyone from entering and stealing anything else.
And old Knell is going to stick his tongue out at that, Akai, because I'm totally stealing your boss from you.
You bastard.
All right. So you guys head out to the inn. I don't have a generic inn created in the maps, so we'll just theater of the mind this. You enter the inn, and it's quite quiet, actually. People appear to be talking in hushed tones at tables throughout the dining area. The innkeeper nods at you as you enter.
Hello.
How about a round for all of our friends here?
A round for everybody. That'll be 5 gold pieces, please.
And I'll put some coins down and find a table.
Okay. As the drinks are handed out, people raise their steins to you in thanks and continue to go about their drinks and evening meals.
When Tempest looks like he's getting close to the end of his drink, I am going to go and purchase another.
Okay. It's a silver piece per drink.
What I have heard old Knell talking to Sign at the manor previously.
Old Nell, were you taking her aside to speak quietly, or was that something that other people could have easily overheard?
Sorry, repeat the question. Who am I talking to?
When you were speaking to Sign earlier about the God's War and an angry god coming after her, was that quietly, just for her, or was that loud enough that other people would have overheard the conversation?
Loud enough that other people could have overheard. We were in the safety of her manor, and I am legitimate in my desire to help protect her from bad things happening. So that wasn't a secret.
Okay. There's your answer, Deacon.
So in that case, as everyone's having their drinks and whatever, I think that I would explain to Sign what we know about what is going on about the God's War, and just that she probably should be careful because I also share that concern.
Okay. She appreciates you letting her know, and she says that she will keep Bane's belt, as it seems to be protecting her from the ill effects of the God's War, and she wants to continue to protect Gorald's Rest while it appears nobody else will.
As I offer Tempest another drink, I say, Tempest, I have some questions for you.
Well, I see you also have some drinks for me, so those go well together.
That's what I thought too. In this God's War, we are collecting gear from various and sundry gods. From the look of them, of the items, some of them aren't friendly to begin with. Who should we be most worried about coming for us because we've got their stuff?
1 second, I just have to pull up my lists to see everything that you guys have found so far. Well, probably Merkel would be a problem. That's the decayed ring that you found. Obviously, Ball with his black leather armor, violence and ritualistic murder. Not such a great kind of person that you want to run into. Sierra, hard to say. Probably Sierra might make a pass at trying to steal their artifact back, or might try to haggle with you for it. I wouldn't give it to him because you don't want Sierra getting strong. Glathor, God of Liches, again, not the type that you want looking for you. The rest of them depends on the day and their mood. But that bag of moon dust that you have is probably safe, given what we've been seeing outside. I don't think Saloon's going to be coming looking for that.
But I think it's safe to say that if we have any god items and an evil god comes by, that we'd be a target. Especially, like Ball's going to be going for Ball's stuff, but, like if he can get, Saloon's moon dust as well, I'm sure he'd do that as well.
I'm absolutely certain you're correct, my little friend. Yes, there are any number of gods that would collect items that weren't their own, whether to use themselves or to hand out to followers, such as I've been doing with you, allowing you to have magic items that are apparently protecting you from this god's war. So I'm not sure if the other gods will figure that out or not, if they're hoarding the items for themselves, but for now, it may be an advantage for us.
Do you think that there can be ill effects from wearing evil gods' items?
I have no idea. And at that point, Deacon, I would like you to roll a perception check.
Oh, that was so close to an 18.
Happily oblivious. Yeah, so other than that, I don't think I want any rolls. No, everything else is okay for now. Right.
Am I the only person who's a little nervous right now?
Oh, no.
Well, I'm not. So
Oh, that's good.
Old Knell is going to help himself to a bunch of gold from the party coffers and is going to go up to the barkeep and putting a gold down on the bar is going to say, right, what you got for fancy elven stuff?
He pulls out a bottle and pours you a glass.
How much for the bottle, mate?
That'll be another 9 gold.
Yeah, I'll pay him the 10 gold for the bottle, and we'll ask him to get me another bottle that looks like it, but fill that one with water. Please and thank you. And this is being done very furtively.
Sure, yeah, he does that for you.
Taking the 2 bottles, I'm going to go over to Maliki, and I'm just going to say, need to have some elf talk. Could I tempt you to an adjoining table with me?
Certainly.
And going to pour for her from the bottle of actual liquor and is going to say, I've been told that this is some kind of elf vintage. I'm afraid I don't really know well enough, but I hope it's to your liking. What do you have to say about some of the strange effects that we've seen so far?
She gives the wine a sniff, nods, and takes a sip before saying, the effects that we've seen are certainly concerning. I think you and your friends have the right of it, that we need to deal with the evil gods, and your world will be better for it. But as there can only be one in the end, I'm not sure what the fate of your world will be.
Old Knell is going to be mirroring her body language and is going to be trying to second-hand influence her to take as many sips as possible, except he's going to be filling up his cup from the water bottle, and he's going to be filling up her cup with the wine bottle, keeping her topped up and just trying to, not so obviously as saying, oh, drink up there, lass, but just trying to encourage her through his own copious consumption to sip as quickly as sip as much as she's willing to, and all the while he's going to be quizzing her on aspects of the God War, which he is then going to try and switch into talking about her, asking her about what sort of a goddess she was, what she would do for the world if she is the eventual victor, and just generally trying to keep her talking about herself and trying to get her to lose track of time. If you want it to be a deception roll or something, I'm trying to get her intoxicated.
Yeah, you can roll deception with advantage.
And I am actually doing very similar to that with Tempest bringing pitchers of beer.
Okay, you can also roll deception with advantage.
What the heck? Why did it roll a constitution roll? Sorry about that.
I was about to call cheatery if that was Tempest rolling a constitution saving throw. Unless that is Tempest rolling a constitution saving throw.
It was.
Curses.
I mean, it is Tempest. He's got to be able to pack a few away, right?
Yeah. So, Old Knell, you're extremely successful with Maliki. She follows your lead, having sips of wine, and does not hold it well at all. She would share any information that you're looking for. Talking about herself, her primary concern is keeping forests and woodland creatures safe. She tearfully talks about some of the animals she's known, some of the magical creatures that inhabit forests that she has befriended over the eons. She can go on all night talking about that kind of stuff.
I feel like you're on a first date, and this is the cat lady that's telling you about all her cats that she's ever had.
That's yeah, I guess.
So I don't know if you saw it, Ryan. Mine should actually be too higher. It should be a 25 because it's not counting either my charisma bonus or I'm sorry, either my proficiency bonus or my armor, one or the other.
Okay. So you got 25. Yeah. So while Tempest does hold his liquor better, he's happy to go drink for drink with you and continue to chat with you. He feels comfortable enough with you to talk about whatever you want to talk about.
I asked him about his pantheon. I asked him about being a god of honorable battle, from what I understand from what he said. I asked him who he hopes to actually run into during this God's War so that he can do what needs to be done.
Ooh, that's a very good and interesting question. There are a few gods that he would like to ally with, Tyr being one of them, as he is the god of justice and is an honorable warrior himself. For personal reasons, he'd like to meet up with Beshaba. He would also definitely ally with Helm, god of guardians and protectors, and Torm, god of law, duty, and loyalty. Both of them would be mighty allies in any war. If he could convince Gond to join his side, he would like to have the god of smithing and inventiveness work with him to provide their armies with exceptional quality weapons and armor. Who else in this list? Any of the dwarven gods he would ally with as well. And I think that wraps up. Yeah, that's looking at the list. Those are the ones that come to his mind that he would prefer to meet.
As I was phrasing it, I also tried to leave heavily into who would he like to run into that he would like to personally put an end to.
Oh, he's got a long list of evil gods. Yeah, Grumsh is right at the top of that list. He had really been hoping to find his saddle here and then immediately march on the orcs. But unfortunately, it looks like that's not going to happen. While Tempest doesn't fear any of the gods to the point that he wouldn't fight them, there are some that make him uneasy, and he would be concerned that they might get the better of him without entering into honorable combat. So like the rogues, Talona, the goddess of poison and disease, Merkel, god of the dead and decay and exhaustion. He would not be surprised if he ran into Oral, who is the goddess of winter and cold, and she would not be fun to run into in the north. Other gods, Talos, god of storms and destruction. While Tempest does understand that destruction comes with war, he does not relish collateral damage in war. If it was up to him, it would be two opposing leaders meeting on the field of battle and duking it out themselves. Mask, as the god of shadows and thievery, is one of those ones that he would be very cautious about going to battle with.
While he was talking about one-on-one honorable combat, I make it a point of stressing to him how, when he called out the orc, that I made it a point of staying out of that fight entirely.
Yeah, and he appreciates that. Cyric is unsettling as the god of lies, trickery, and strife. Gods like that, he's not going to get a fair fight from, and he'd be worried about being stabbed in the back or poisoned and never seeing it coming. Malar, he might enjoy that fight, even though he's all about hunting and stalking in the shadows. It would at least be an honorable sort of hunt, and something that he could battle with his axe. Bane and Baal, obviously, with their terror and violence, would be gods that he would like to fight one-on-one. Leviatar, a god of agony, hurt, and torture, he's not sure he'd get a fair fight out of. And he'd be also concerned about his followers being kidnapped to make an example of them and drive people away from him. Murgafee, and while not an evil god, would give him a good fight, good run for his money, and he think he would enjoy that fight, not necessarily with the thought of putting him down, but just to test his strength and see who would come out on top. At the mention of Kilkathax, he visibly shudders, a god of insects, and has no interest in fighting him. The thought of fighting swarms of insects is not something that he would relish at all. And I think that about sums it up for the gods that he would look forward to fighting and ones that he would less like to face.
And as he is telling me this, I'm refilling his pitcher, asking to pause to wander off to get another refill, and I'm doing much the same tactic as Old Knell, of ale for him, water for me.
Yep. He continues to drink happily.
You'll have to let me know at the end how much I owe the bar so I can knock it off my character sheet.
Sure. We'll say 6 silver pieces.
I will actually give him a tip. I will give him 12 silver altogether, because pay for mine, but it'll be a tip for the bartender.
All right. He's very appreciative of that.
Scene. It's a sign. Sorry.
Yes.
Have you heard of any other astro or things falling from the sky nearby?
I do remember the night that the one landed in my back garden. There were certainly some more I saw to the northwest and northeast and to the east and down southeast towards Nordgard. Many directions, yes.
Would you be able to mark them on a map or something?
I'm not sure how far away they wound up landing, but I could, if I looked at a map, I could give you some ideas of where they may have landed, or at least different locations along that line.
Great. Do you have a map?
Not on me, no.
But you have one at the manor, right?
I have a map of Gold's Rest, and I have a map of the Northern Kingdom. I'm not sure how much use that will be, given that I don't have a map of the Brightwood, where I imagine most of the meteorites fell.
Oh, okay. So we should be looking in the Brightwood.
And that's the Brightwood is where you guys came from.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Then I
No
wouldn't have said that. Okay, well, I'm done with this witness.
Okay, then I've got an ask. While everybody's been getting everybody else drunk, Wynn is asking the barkeep if he's seen any of these strange-looking people, and she gives the description that we were given.
Oh, yeah, they were an interesting group. Fancy guy, he put on quite the show for us. He came in with 3 friends and left with 5. Quite the charismatic fellow.
Who were the 2 that he picked up?
Well, the one of them I was glad to see gone. He was this red-headed bastard. Loved to gamble and cause trouble. But I guess he liked the way that bard did business, and so he joined them to travel on. And then there was this sickly-looking gentleman that they met up with at some point outside and brought back with them to the inn. All of them headed off together.
How long ago?
Oh, that was just last night.
Any idea which way they went? I think we needed to meet them for something.
No, I didn't see anything. Might be someone else around here saw something.
Yeah, do you have any idea who might be able to help?
No, sorry. I'd say, normally I'd say some of the guards, because they usually have shifts at the guard towers on the roads, but of course none of them have been manning the towers for the last few days. And the farmers may have seen something. I know there have been a lot of activities out in the fields to the west lately, what with that tragedy. I don't know. You're just going to have to ask around, I guess.
Well, thank you so much for your help.
My pleasure. Do be careful if you find them, though. They're a rough bunch.
Oh, really? Thank you for the warning.
My pleasure.
Thank you, Ryan. That's all she needed. Is there anybody else in here that appeared to be listening into this conversation, or who looks like they might know something about it? Are there other people she could ask basically the same questions of?
There's you could ask everybody in the inn if you wanted.
Yep, she'll do that.
Okay. Eventually, you would find somebody who saw those people heading along the road north.
Thank you. She'll buy them a round of drinks, so they can drink for basically the night.
Okay. And just so you know, there was at least one of them riding a horse, and it was the oddest looking beast the person's ever seen. Kind of ghostly looking. Doesn't know if that helps, but thought you'd like to know.
Yeah, thank you. Do I know of any gods that ride ghostly horses, Ryan?
You can give me a religion check. Given that Tempest is looking for a saddle, it jogs your memory that he had a couple of horses that he would ride, and could be his.
Oh goodness! Oh goodness! She won't tell him that while he's drunk.
Okay.
Thanks. How late is it at the moment?
It's fairly early in the night.
But it's night. Okay.
Yeah.
She's going to try and hustle people off to bed so that we get an early start tomorrow. We need to go north. And she's going to be a little overbearing about it, as if she assumes that everybody will listen.
Give me a persuasion check.
She's not very good at that. Just giving you a heads up.
Yeah. You try to get everybody to go to bed and get a good rest. But Tempest is being quite loud and boisterous and enjoying the drinks. Miliki is sobbing in the corner with her head against Old Knell's chest, talking about various animals and creatures. Spilling her heart out to him.
Hurting cats.
And Nibbs is on the table, drinking from a thimble-sized drink, but singing rousing drinking songs.
Can you give me a performance roll?
Doesn't have to be good.
He's finding out if it will be.
Yeah, I'm not saying it will be.
That's not bad.
Oh, that's pretty good, actually. You're singing some drinking songs of your people, and the patrons of the bar are enjoying your performance. They don't know the words, but they're tapping their feet and clapping their hands along as you sing.
And I'm kind of doing this like jig on the bar top while I'm singing. Oh, here, not a very good jig. No, an average jig. Yeah, a commoner jig.
I would say that your performance encompasses both the singing and dancing portion, so you're doing a mighty fine job up there.
Akai is just going to be kind of sitting and obviously observing, and I'm wondering if I could, I guess, do some sort of check with regards to sussing out what old Knell and Ulnan are doing with the gods, with their getting them drunk and obviously them not drinking and all that stuff.
You can give me an insight check. Just to warn you, their deception rolls were very, very good.
Oh my god, that sucks so bad.
Yeah, beyond knowing they're up to something, what their game is, you have no idea.
But they're up to something.
Yeah, it certainly looks suspicious what they're doing, kind of separating the gods and plying them with drinks.
When Tia is going around saying, "Hey y'all, bed," when she goes past us, I'm actually going to excuse myself from Tempest, and I'm going to follow her, and I'm going to ask what's going on.
She'll say, "I think we've got a direction, but we're going to have to catch them, so we need to go to bed so we can catch them, and nobody will go to sleep." She's quite frustrated.
Let me give it a try. I am going to do the rounds that Tia did, and let people know that we need to call it a night, and apologizing to Knell as I say it to him.
Knell is looking over at Tempest. Is he as unsteady as Micheal is by now?
No, he's holding the alcohol quite well. He is loud and boisterous, but that's kind of who he is.
Okay, then I think that old Knell will just give Ulnan the hand in a chopping motion by your neck and just a muttered "pull it off then, mate." And going across the table, he's going to say to Micheal, "That is so sad about Sparkle the unicorn, but I think it's time you were in bed."
Do you need me to make a persuasion for my doing the laps?
You can try to persuade Tempest. Miliki is going to listen to old Knell and agree that Carly is late, and she should go and get into a trance.
I want to ask Sign if we can stay at her place, I guess, for the night.
Well, with the guards abandoning their posts, she says that there are some extra rooms, and you're welcome to stay. She also has her own personal stables where you can keep your cart and mules. And, of course, the goblins are welcome as well, as long as they're well behaved.
Okay, then we will adjourn to Sign's house. And I think Aki will get a muttered, grudging thank you from old Knell for taking care of that.
She will not acknowledge that at all. But she knows it. But, doesn't return any, yeah.
Rude.
Oh,
totally rude.
Tia will be quite friendly about thanking, because she's happy to have a place to sleep.
Okay, so the last thing I need to check here is Tempest.
I insist if we're walking back to the mansion that we get road beers.
Tempest begrudgingly agrees. He mutters that he could have just slept in the cart in the morning if he really needed it, but he'll agree with Nibbs about the road beers and take a couple steins for the road, so you guys can spend another gold piece on road beers.
I'm not getting a road beer.
Yeah, Deacon notably, or maybe not notably, but he only had one drink that night. He sipped that thing the whole night.
Okay, this crook is not charging me a gold piece for a thimble full of beer, is he?
No, but if you're getting drinks for Tempest and anyone else who wants them, and taking the steins with you, he's charging a gold piece.
All right, then. Okay.
Oh, okay, wait. Maybe plan is back on. Old Knell will hand him like 2 gold pieces and we'll try to collect several beers. And on the way back, can I make a last-ditch attempt to knock Tempest out by being like, and here's to war, and toasting and letting him have a drink, and then being like, and here's to armed conflict, and letting him have the drink, and can I have one more chance to try and trick him to blackout drunkenness?
Sure thing. No, he's holding on pretty well. Clearly intoxicated, but not anywhere close to blackout drunk.
Curses. All right, fine.
Good job, Tempest.
Conspiratorially on the way back to our...
No, I didn't tell about the saddle specifically at that time. I just said we had a direction.
I will conspiratorially say to Old Knell that Wynn thinks we have a direction to head in the morning and that it needs to be in the morning. So it's probably just as well your plan didn't quite work. I mean, Tia said.
Oh, well, we'll make the gods, bond and get along and hopefully not murder each other another time.
All right. So Sign takes you guys back to the manor and shows you where the guest rooms are. Anything else you want to do tonight?
Is anyone still injured?
I don't think so. You guys didn't get in any fights today.
Excellent.
Nibbs is telling you all how much he loves you guys and how you guys are the best ever.
Maliki appreciates Nibbs and picks him up and cradles him like a baby animal in her arms and just smiles.
Okay. Awkward. He loves it. It's fine.
And as you walk to the manor, Tempest looks up and says, not much left. Poor saloon.
Oh, what does our moon look like now?
You see a couple more large chunks floating off into the distance. There might be a quarter of the moon left, but not much.
Oh, that is sad.
And you guys head to bed and wake up in the morning refreshed.
Setting out on the road in the direction that Tia gave us.
At this point, I asked Tempest how to track his horses.
He looks at you curiously and says, like any other horse.
They're kind of ghostly, though, right?
Not usually.
Okay. One of them was riding a kind of ghostly horse.
Well, I have to admit, I've only ever ridden them in the heavens. So maybe it's different here.
Well, they went north. Let's try and go as quickly as we can to catch up to them.
Sounds good to me.
What a great time for a travel montage.
Need a montage. All right. So, in the morning, the mules don't eat. The goblins aren't hungry. And let me just check some stuff here. Oh, you guys had mentioned that you wanted to look into the farmers, but I'm guessing that's out the window now because of the hunt for the saddle.
Yeah, I think so. Seems like a more
Alas.
promising lead.
Alas, for the moment, yes.
I think for the moment is the right.
I'm thinking I should give each one of our mules one of my shoes so that they eat because they're gonna die. And how are they supposed to haul us anywhere?
How is a mule supposed to wear a sandal?
On his head, for all I care.
Add around the neck.
You just drape it over an ear, you know?
Yeah. I mean, 'cause I can go without eating for a bit. That's gonna be fine. I'll take them back after, but.
I've got to look at the artifacts that you guys have, see if any of them make sense to put on a mule.
The bracers around an ankle.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you could use a disguise kit on one of the mules
Give it lipstick or what?
or a wig.
Sure, I'll give the mule a wig.
Okay. Once the mules have been outfitted with artifacts, they do eat their breakfast.
I swear, I am picturing these mules right now pulling us with these wigs and eyeliner and lipstick, and they're just looking fabulous.
We got their hooves did, we got their hair did.
Perfect.
All right. So after everybody is suitably fed, you guys head on down the road to the north.
These mules be lippers on our stallions for the day.
And we're going fast and seeing if we can find them.
So are you double timing it?
Have we been able to pick up any trace that we think is specifically them, or are we just going down this road?
You can give me survival checks, I guess. The road is well worn, but you do pick up some hoof prints that look a little different than a standard horse's. They're a little larger, and you note that there are some other footprints that may match the group that has been described to you, particularly the Dragonborn.
And will I be able to keep following those if I'm trying to track them? And we try and double time?
Not if you're going double time, no. You'd have to be traveling normal time or slower to track actively.
She will ask the party what they prefer to do.
Can you tell if they're being furtive or are they just going ahead straight? Because if it doesn't look like they're trying to hide, let's just head in the same direction.
Am I able to tell that?
Well, from the distance between tracks, and comparing it to your own, when you're walking at a normal pace, it looks like they're just going at a normal pace, like they're not in a particular rush, and they're not trying to hide anything. They're just traveling north.
Does anyone know if this road just leads directly to somewhere else, or does this branch off somewhere?
None of you is familiar with the territory up here.
And even I wouldn't be familiar?
Oh, you might be. Yeah, since you lived in Gold's Rest, you'd know that this road goes to Redton. And there's no other destinations along the way.
And so next question is, these guys are about a half a day ahead of us or a full day?
A full day.
So I would say we double time it.
I'm in for that.
Okay. You guys kick the mules into high gear. And they get to the halfway point in the day, and they're still okay to carry on. You've traveled a full day's distance.
Can I stop and check to see if I can still find tracks?
Sure.
I will help.
Excellent. Oh, that's funny.
Oh, that is hilarious.
2 15s. Yeah, you stop the mules for a bit, let them catch their breath, and take a look around on the road, and you do pick up the similar tracks to what you saw leaving Gold's Rest.
Quick question. Will restoration cure exhaustion?
No.
Okay.
Akai, how far is it to the next town?
I don't know. insert miles here. Well, how far would it be?
Yeah, let me just do some measurements here.
Okay.
It's usually a 3.5 day ride.
Okay, so 3.5 days, so we're gonna have to do a few stops.
We could do it in 2 days.
Well, and we don't actually need to get there. We just need to catch up to these people.
True.
And we've already done a day's worth of travel in half a day. So, if we can keep this pace, we should be able to catch them soon, right? Within the next day or so.
Yeah, depending, you may be able to catch up to them at the end of the day today, but that's going to be pushing the mules pretty hard, and you'll have to hope that they're pretty resilient to manage it.
As in, we may kill them, or as in they may need to rest for a long time?
They may need to rest.
Yeah, that's okay though, because the only timeline that we have is catching these people.
Yeah.
We can afford to let them rest after that.
Yep.
I'm in favor of risking it for the biscuit.
Me as well.
Oh, the mule. Oh, not so good.
So they are continuing to pull well an hour later.
Uh-oh.
Oof! Oh, wow.
Now we're going in circles.
Yeah, one of the mules appears to still be in good health 2 hours later. The other one is breathing very heavily.
I think we have to slow down for that for a little bit. Do we have to slow down or stop, Ryan?
Well, the mule is exhausted at this point, so it's going to be moving a little slower no matter what you do.
What time of day is it by now? Is it?
It's mid-afternoon.
So should we just? I don't know. Yeah.
And how far have we come?
You got an extra couple of hours out of them, so that would be 4 hours closer. So you still got about half a day's travel to catch up to the other group, you figure.
And what? Sorry, I just kind of lost my train of thought there. Oh, sorry. What speed? Is it like half speed or?
Yeah, you would be traveling at half speed.
All right. Next.
Okay, so
question
just one little question, quick.
Yeah,
if we're going at half speed, are you still pushing exhaustion at that time?
Yes, they've traveled more than a day's distance already, so any more movement will result in exhaustion checks.
Okay, I'm done with this witness.
So I just wanted to ask this in that same kind of vein of thought. So since one of the mules did good and is doing fine, if we traveled at half speed but only had one of the mules hooked up and the other one was just walking normally without pulling a load, would that still risk exhaustion or cause exhaustion, I guess?
Because there's two mules on the cart, they can travel at a fast pace. If you only have one mule on the cart, it will not be able to pull the cart at the fast pace. If it continues doing double the work, it will be able to travel at normal pace, but the other mule is down to half speed. So if you push it to move double time, it will move at normal speed as well.
Nibbs looks at the strongest person in the group.
Which is you, I think.
No, I have a 9.
Oh, okay. Oh, it's Ulnan. That's right.
Yeah, it's me.
It's Ulnan and Tempest, I think, are our strongest.
Yeah, and he says, maybe you could help the mule, like the mule.
Ulnan gives him probably the worst stink eye you have ever seen.
He just kind of sheepishly kind of chuckles a little bit, and it's just a thought.
Well, perhaps we should let them rest for the day. We did do a day and a half, so that's pretty good.
If we sleep now, it's almost like we get if you figure sleeping is in sections of 4-hour chunks, it's almost like we got 3 4-hour chunks. Is there any chance that we can get rid of his exhaustion on the mule? Sorry, my dog is barking.
Yeah, no problem. Even if the mule stops now, you can't have long rests too close to other long rests. So you'd still have to wait out the time of a long rest plus the additional couple of hours.
Right, of course. What if we feed the one meal to the other meal? Can we make a super meal?
Oh, stop it.
No.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so what I'm hearing is there's no way that we can continue moving without causing exhaustion for the mule. So we just have to stop and accept that we made a day and a half progress and, then try again tomorrow.
You can certainly do that.
I feel like that's the safer option.
I agree with that, yeah.
I think that is my most concerning of your DM phrases you use.
Yeah.
What, that you can do something?
You could certainly do that.
No, it's when they say you can certainly try.
No, well, that's the thing, though, is most people say you can certainly try, or but this one is different enough that it carries different weird weight for me for some reason, and I don't really know why.
Yeah, fair enough.
It's because there's no check involved with it. Like if you're stopping, and you can do that. I can't try to challenge that in any way, unless I have Tempest say, no, we need to go get that saddle today. Push on.
I think there's just an undercurrent of here. Are you sure?
I think it's called PTSD. It's it's a learned response to past trauma.
Post-Trevor DMing stress disorder?
Yeah.
So we're stopping here. Are we doing anything other than just camping and shooting this shit, the stuff, and calling it a night when it's appropriate to sleep?
I think for me, I'm good with just calling it a night, setting appropriate watches, and then moving on. I mean, we made pretty good progress. A day and a half is pretty decent.
I'm okay with that because, if the mule only has one level of exhaustion, a rest will do him, and then maybe we can push hard and basically do 3 days travel in 2 days.
We can try again tomorrow, yep.
Who wants to tell ghost stories?
Not me.
Actually, as we're setting up camp for the night, I think old Knell would ask Nibbs if he had any dreams or visions involving those bracers.
He has not.
And I don't think I've slept yet with them, have I?
Yeah, you would have had a long rest at the manor.
Right.
Okay, then I think old Knell is going to make bad choices and is going to ask if we could trade god items just for the night, because as bad an idea as it maybe seems, if there's any more chance of learning more about my past and the person that I was, I'd like to take it. And those bracers did give me maybe some kind of insight into my past.
Oh, yeah. You can have them for tonight. Just take them, because we'll tomorrow morning, before breakfast, you can give them back to me and I can then eat.
Okay, well, I'll take them for the evening just to see if anything happens when I go for my trance.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
Same watches as last time?
I think we should break up the gods. Bad things happen when they have time to talk. Sorry, Tempest. Sorry, Maliki. Did that come through?
Yeah, it did.
Okay.
I agree with you. I worry about people having dark vision. Person with dark vision per shift, if we can manage it.
Yeah.
I'll do the last watch again, and I do have dark vision.
Which one out of the gods has dark vision?
Maliki.
Oh, well then, I'll offer to take watch with her.
And Tempest can watch with me?
Yep.
Oh, sure. You guys are just going to cuddle then, aren't you, Shane?
I was going to say, be honest, Nibbs, you just want to be cosseted and petted and told you're a good boy.
Who doesn't?
And guilty.
Who doesn't? Adulting sucks.
All right, so I've got Nibbs and Maliki on third watch, Tia and Tempest on fourth. Who wants first?
I guess that's me.
Who's on first?
What's on second?
Do you have dark... Oh, so I have dark vision, so I'll go
I do too.
wherever. So
I'll go with Ulnan again on first watch, I guess.
Okay, so that leaves Akai and Old Knell together on second.
I think we're going to glare at each other for a little bit again.
Game on.
Okay. So Ulnan and Deacon, can you guys give me perception checks, please?
We're tired, you know.
Yeah, it's been a long day. Fast travel. Anything that you two want to discuss?
No, I think Alden and I got a pretty good understanding, at least as far as I'm concerned.
Sounds good. Akai and Old Knell. Can I get perception checks from you guys? That's a couple of very good checks. And it's good that you rolled really high because it's hard to notice something that isn't there. But you both note that the moon should have been up by now, and you don't see anything in the sky.
Uh-oh.
That's upsetting. All right, you didn't stab us in the back when we were in your town. Truce?
Okay.
Yeah, and that's it.
They also have an understanding.
I think we'll just let the next watch know that there is no moon, but that's it for us. Why do I have the suspicion that Ryan is currently writing messages to people?
Because I am. Sorry. Yep. So Nibbs and Maliki have their night together. She actually apologizes to you for the way she treated you the other night. She had more to drink than she's ever had before, and she feels quite ashamed of treating you that way because you're not just some simple forest creature. You are a sentient being and deserve to be treated better than that.
Don't worry, but it didn't happen. He's like obviously being awkward about it, and doesn't really know what to say.
She just smiles at that and is glad that you're not upset about what happened.
Let's just say what happens in Gold's Rest stays in Gold's Rest.
Perfect. And then Tia and Tempest get a watch together.
Yep. She finds out anything about the horses. And yeah, doesn't have too much specific on her mind at the moment. She wants to know what life as a god is like.
Tempest talks about Viros and Diros, his horses that rode into countless battles with him across the heavens. And when he talks about them, it's with a wistful look in his eye. And you can tell that he misses them, and that you get the sense that he's happy that this is the first item that he's going to find. So it's the most meaningful to him.
Nice. Does he have anything on his mind?
He has seen more versions of himself die every night, and he wishes he knew how many of him there were. The deaths that he's experienced have been exactly the type that he has been concerned about, being poisoned or a knife in the back. When it comes to honorable combat, he has lost a few of those, but most of his deaths have been dishonorable deaths. And he really doesn't want that to happen to him here.
Yeah, and she talks about she actually understands that fear, and she is very glad that he and Maliki have found at least a temporary peace, because they will both be stronger banded against the evil gods. And she asks, will the other gods be able to tell who you are just on sight?
Not necessarily. Gods that are familiar with her will.
I'm with Tempest.
Pardon me?
I'm with Tempest.
With gods that are familiar with him will. But he doesn't know all of the gods on a personal level type of thing. So he's not sure if once he gets his artifact, if it'll give him any extra sensory perceptions of other gods or not. From his talking with Miliki, he doesn't think that will be the case. That his concerns about not seeing it coming will still be valid.
Will it be helpful if you changed your appearance?
He says it would be, but he doesn't want to hide from the fight. He wants to stand there facing it, and his enemies knowing that it's him that's bringing them down.
Gotcha.
Is this conversation happening? Oh, it's during a watch, isn't it?
Yeah.
Never mind.
How important is that weighed against your survival?
It is who he is. To skulk around in the shadows and hide from the fight, he feels like it wouldn't be him. Like when you talked about how they were good gods and they shouldn't turn on each other because that's not who they are.
And this also wouldn't be.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm just trying to find some ways to help improve your odds. I will continue thinking on that.
He thanks you for your thoughtfulness. And the rest of the watch goes by uneventfully.
That means it's morning, right?
Yes.
All right. I'm starved. Let's where's the rations? Oh wait, I got rations. And he starts nibbling away on rations. So, do we want to leave it there? It's like 10 o'clock. I'm kind of fading.
Yep, I just wasn't sure if there's anything anybody wanted to talk about when they woke up in the morning. If not, we can pause it here and continue the pursuit next time.